Hello, wrestling fans. This is John Fredrickson with State of Pro Wrestling. Got a very special guest brought to you here at Midwest All-Star Wrestling, one half of the Road Warriors, a.k.a. the Legion of Doom Animal. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. How have you been?
Midwest All-Star Wrestling fans are in for a treat this evening. I tell you, anytime any of the fans in the country here in the Midwest get a chance to go out to Midwest All-Star Wrestling, do not miss it. It's always a sellout. Get your tickets early, and they're very, very family-friendly entertainment, you know?
Yeah, very awesome. The lineup they got here tonight, some of the best stars from the Chicagoland area, Iowa, all over the Midwest, Minnesota. North Dakota. Amazing stars. Can you tell us about growing up here in the Midwest in Chicago? What that was like?
Well, man, you know, I was lived in Chicago for a while, but I spent a lot of my life in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You know, that's where my kids all went to high school, Wayzata high school graduates. So, you know, Minnesota is very near and dear to my heart. Although I don't miss shoveling snow, I'll tell you that, because I live right outside of St. Louis now.
All right.
But man, it's always great to come back here. This is like home, and it's always great to see the young up-and-coming stars that have dreams that they're trying to fulfill. That's the greatest thing about this, man. And the promoter, Dave, is a great guy, second to none. Awesome human being. You will never be treated better than the people at Midwest All-Star Wrestling.
Definitely very gracious. David helped me set this up. Very grateful for him and everything he's done. Can you tell us about your early days? Your brother was a wrestler as well. Who was a wrestling fan first, or how did you guys get into wrestling as fans?
Well, you know, I got into wrestling first. I was actually training to be a pro football player. I got timed by, I went to Morehead State, believe it or not, and got timed by Dallas and Green Bay, and ended up having a baby out of the blue. That kind of ruined football. So I said, well, I got to do something, and then wrestling came about. So went through Ed Sharkey there, like a lot of guys did in the cities, and trained. Went through camp with Smash Demolition, Hawk, Ravishing Rick Rude, Scott Norton, the NWO. Guys like that, we all went to wrestling camp together, and Nikita Koloff, and I got lucky and I made it.
Wow, impressive list there. Any memories from going through camp there?
Well, yeah, man, we beat the crap out of each other. We broke each other's nose all the time, gave each other a bloody lip, black eyes. I mean, we beat the crap out of each other.
Certainly a different era. And you guys came up bouncing around Minneapolis bars.
Grandma B's, brother. Grandma B's in a place called Thumpers out in Ham Lake. It was definitely a wild time.
Any examples of guys trying to get tough with the Road Warriors?
No, not too many, man. We had a couple guys try to hit the ring in Tennessee one time. We were beating up Tommy Rich and Johnny Rich, and we had to knock a couple guys out, but it never gets out of hand too bad.
All right. And can you tell me how you met Hawk originally, or maybe some
10 minutes, folks. 10 minutes.
Memories from the early years?
I met him in Jesse the Body Ventura's gym.
All right.
And we trained together, and he's like 3 or 4 years older than I was, and you know, he was kidding around with me. He said, Lordatus, no one's supposed to be that strong, and you know, I ended up outlifting him in the bench press, so that's how we got to be buddies.
And you guys were really strong. There was a lot of AWA legends who maybe didn't want to get thrown around, but you guys didn't care too much. Can you tell me?
Well, they didn't really have a choice, bro. But the first time we wrestled Crusher and Bruiser, we pressed them over our heads, you know, and that was our claim to fame in the AWA. You know, I got my AWA belt tonight with me here, so people could hold them for photos and stuff like that. So.
Very cool. And what does being a Road Warrior, what has that meant to you?
Listen, I'm a normal guy with a weird job. Just happened to be a Road Warrior. But I'll tell you what, there was only 2 guys in the wrestling business that were able to be Road Warriors. That was Hawk and I.
Awesome. Very cool. And can you tell us about your days in Japan and what the Japanese culture was like?
I love Japan. Been to Japan 60 times. Japan's awesome. It's one of the best places to wrestle in the world, and great fans, great people, great food. It's unbelievable.
And you guys were managed by Paul Ellering. Can you tell us how he became your manager?
Ole Anderson down at Georgia Championship Wrestling put him with us one day, and he was the best manager that anybody could ever have. Paul is the most underrated manager in wrestling.
Awesome. And then there in the Attitude Era, you guys were managed by Sonny. Was there anybody else kind of on your guys' radar to be managed by, or any other managers that you respected? Maybe?
No, man, we didn't even really need to have Sonny with us. We don't need any managers. Hawk and I did just fine by ourselves.
All right. And currently, it's kind of been an emphasis on tag team wrestling once again with AEW, NWA, a lot of the indie companies. Have you kept up with that?
Yeah, I watch all the shows. I got a podcast called What a Rush Podcast on the Creative Control Network, and I talk about the current and past state of pro wrestling all the time. So
awesome, very cool. It'd be interesting to tune in. Fans, check that out. And can you tell us about the late '80s, early '90s, being a part of WWF? There, what was that run like?
Anywhere Hawk and I went was a pretty good run for us. Some of the ideas we didn't like, but we made the best of it, and we're pros, and we acted like pros, and we did our job. Man, that's all you got to do in this business. You do your job, be respectful of the guys that paved the road for you. Everything will be all right.
Awesome. And we're here at Turtle Lake, Wisconsin tonight. Midwest All-Star Wrestling origins, the AWA origins around this area. Any road stories from around this area?
Not too many, man, because most of we were in the era of TVs being filmed at ESPN, on ESPN for the AWA, and best thing about this, my brothers were Mankato State guys, and my brother Johnny is an executive at WWE Wrestling Japan, and my brother Mark was the Terminator, and he was part of the Terminator's tag team, Raging Fury, that were WCW champs. So it was, both my brothers did it. It's kind of a family thing, but the AWA was classic, man. I still wish the AWA was in business.
Very cool, very cool. And you say your brother worked for WWE for a while. Do you still keep in contact with them?
Oh yeah, all the time, man. They're my brothers. What am I gonna do?
Is there anything you do behind the scenes currently?
I will work for any company that wants to improve the state of tag team wrestling. If you don't want to improve it, don't call me. But I do appearances all over the place, man. I like to go to see the fans, no matter where I go across the U.S. or over in Europe, Middle East, anywhere. And it's about giving back to the fans. I bring my spike pads. The fans can put on my spike shoulder pads for photos, and that's what it's all about today now. Bro, I'm going to have to run here, man. These natives are getting restless, bro.
Geez. Very cool, very cool. You guys changed the game. Any favorite memories, or maybe walking out in a stadium that gave you a feeling that you'll take to the grave?
SummerSlam '92, Wembley Stadium, 92,000 people. It was a rush.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir, for joining us. Animal of the Road Warriors. We got to get going. The fans are lined up to meet you. Thank you for taking some time out, sir. All right. Have a great night. Hello, wrestling fans. My name is John Fredrickson. We are here, State of Pro Wrestling exclusive here at the St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake, Wisconsin, with the legend. Very grateful. Brought to you by Midwest All-Star Wrestling, one half of the Road Warriors. You may know them, the Legion of Doom. We are here with the legend. Thank you for taking some time out of your day, sir. Animal. I even cut my hair to meet you. It is an honor to even be standing next to you, sir. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, bro, you should have cut both your hairs. Hey, we're in Turtle Lake Casino. This is awesome, man, to be back in the great state of Wisconsin. Some of the greatest wrestling fans are in the Midwest here, and this is awesome, man. It's a great homecoming for me.
All right, and the fans, man, the last time we seen you was the WWE Hall of Fame. What have you been up to since that?
Oh, bro, every weekend I'm in somewhere different state, different city. Going to Qatar next week, February 22nd. That'll be a fun time. So, man, I'm all over the country.
Very cool, awesome. Events like this here tonight, meet the fans face to face, the people who followed you all these years. Indie wrestling boom here. Have you kept up with wrestling? How do you feel about the current state of pro wrestling?
Well, I mean, the state of pro wrestling right now is great for the fan. Although I don't agree with all the bam, 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 flipping outside the ring stuff, because I think the fans want to see a good match. They want to see a good story told. But listen, you got Ring of Honor, you got WWE, you got AEW, you got the NWA trying to make a comeback. And you got the indie shows. Man, there's a lot of great wrestlers out here. I do a lot of indie appearances, and some of the best wrestlers in the country are at indie shows.
Awesome. Any favorite tag teams you've had an eye on lately?
No. To be quite honest, because most companies just throw guys together. And AEW's got the nucleus of having great teams, but they don't respect the referees. A good team respects the referees, respects the rules. Even when you cheat, you got to respect the referee, and you got to have some kind of organization in the ring. So I think if they concentrate on one or two things, man, AEW can really start kicking butt tag team wise.
Awesome, man. All right, we got an event like here tonight, Midwest All-Star Wrestling. Any words for maybe any of these wrestlers here in the ring tonight?
Listen, man, I never knew if I was going to make it in pro wrestling. I was trying out for pro football with walk-on tryouts, like my son James played pro ball. And, you know, you got to keep up your dream. You never know what your dream's going to be, and maybe pro wrestling, it may not be, but you know what? You never know unless you try.
Very awesome. You brought up your son, James. What has he been up to lately? He went to the historic Ohio State Buckeyes, played for the Rams, had a great career. What has he been up to lately?
Well, he works for the Big Ten Network, and he's an announcer for the Big Ten Network. He's got an ESPN radio show. He does 3 or 4 NFL games a year. He did the Kansas City game before the playoffs. So, yeah, he's busy doing a lot of play-by-play, you know.
Awesome, man. Any favorite memories, fatherhood, raising him, being a coach, being on the road?
Listen, man, you want your kids to grow up to be great human beings, man. All my kids grow up to be great humans. They're good dads, good moms. So, you know, that's all you can expect from your kids. Anything else is a plus.
Very cool, man. And the fans want to know, I want to know, when I was introduced to you, part of Legion of Doom, you guys had those iconic spike shoulder pads. Can you tell us the origin, the creation of those?
Well, I got them with me here tonight so the fans can put them on for photos. The spikes came about, you know, Hawk and I had that company Zubaz that made the zebra print sweatpants.
All right.
And through that, we knew Dan Marino, and the equipment manager from the Miami Dolphins became good friends with us. His brother happened to run Rydell Power Protective Equipment. So I said, hey, I had Rydell shoulder pads when I played football. I got an idea. So I sat in my garage, and I literally drilled holes in a pair of shoulder pads, and that's how the spikes came about, just by playing around. And it's one of the more iconic gimmicks in pro wrestling ever.
Amazing, man. Thank you very much for that. Any last words for the fans out there?
Come on down, man. If you haven't got to see these local indie shows, come on down, especially in the Midwest here, Wisconsin, Minnesota. It's a rush.
Very cool opportunity to meet some legends such as yourself, see maybe some stars of the future in the ring. Very cool opportunity to be there live, catch all the action.
Where else can you come see Haku, the Barbarian, one half of the infamous Barbarian and Warlord? Where else can you see Honky Tonk Man and a Hall of Famer that's in the NWA Hall of Fame, Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and a WWE Hall of Fame like myself, one of the Road Warriors? Hardly ever, man. So this is a treat for the fans tonight.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank all you fans for tuning in for this interview here, State of Pro Wrestling Live. I want to thank Midwest All-Star Wrestling for the opportunity. I want to thank you, sir, taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know you're talking to WCCO, Star Tribune. I want to thank you for taking some time out here with us at State of Pro Wrestling. Thank you very much, sir.
What a rush.
Oh, yes. Thank you, fans. Fans, my name is John Frederickson. We are here, State of Pro Wrestling exclusive here at the St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake, Wisconsin, with the legend. Very grateful. Brought to you by Midwest All-Star Wrestling, one half of the Road Warriors. You may know them, the Legion of Doom. We are here with the legend. Thank you for taking some time out of your day, sir. Animal. I even cut my hair to meet you. It is an honor to even be standing next to you, sir. How are you doing tonight?
Bro, you should have cut both your hairs. You know?